I suck at Jiu Jitsu. How do I suck less at Jiu Jitsu?
I guess to suck less.
This is a little bit different setup from last time, right?
So it was when you released your last one was a year ago.
Yeah. That's when I did the seminar at your place.
Yeah. And so I'm trying to decide. I was trying to decide on, because I was thinking that same thing. What would have been different? Was Bryce all the way in the corner?
Yeah, he was back there.
Yeah.
Maybe the table might have been the same, or maybe it was turned. I don't know. It definitely it looked like a little different when I walked in this time.
Yeah, Bryce in the corner thing was definitely. I was just talking to Brian and saying, I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
Didn't like it. On that note, Bryce is fired, and he was replaced by his brother Brian, the other Allen brother.
Mm-hmm.
Just a fill-in for the day.
Yeah, congratulations. Now he's fired. There were some allegations against him. You know,
Can only imagine.
Yeah, he got kicked off of our team because he smelled so bad. He never washed his gi, and then they got rid of him. It's brutal.
I knew nothing about
He'll be
that.
missed. His smell won't be missed, but he'll be missed.
Yes, he will be. So, Devin, how are you doing today?
Doing good, man. Can't complain. No complaints on this side.
Yeah. How are you feeling? Are you beat up? Are you training? What are things looking like for you? Every time we see each other, we're busy and what we see each other, so I don't get to talk to you at all. How are you feeling?
I feel pretty good, actually. Been getting back into picking up the training a little bit when I can. Always seems like when I start getting something going, something will pop up, whether it's tournaments I got to go coach. Like anytime I think I'm about to start preparing for a competition, I feel like 5 or 6 different things get in the way, and it's like, I don't want to go out there and compete without really giving myself the time to prepare. I don't want to do anything like that. I don't want to waste any time. So, but training wise, I've been hopping back in, feeling pretty good. My back's been feeling a lot better. But we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, man. I was just talking to some of my students today, and we're like, hey, they were asking me about how do you know you're gonna feel ready if you haven't competed in a while. I'm like, man, a lot of it is, and this is also a problem, but a lot of it is. You just do what you did the times you know that you felt really ready, and you felt really good. And so you can just go back and go, okay, well, the 6 weeks before that, the 8, the 10 weeks, that was my training camp, And so, but sometimes you were stupid then, and what you did then is not attainable. It's just not doable anymore,
Yep, I definitely have had to adjust. I haven't competed. This has probably been the longest it's been since I've started jiu-jitsu that I haven't competed. The last competition I did was at Super Fight or whatever, and here in St. Louis, like almost 2 years ago, like a year and a half ago.
Really?
That was it. Yeah, but leading up into that, I realized then it's like things are gonna have to change a little bit. How I'm preparing, getting ready for these things, just to stay healthy. I feel like, as I've gotten older, that's obviously the biggest risk is all these old injuries I have kind of creeping back up. So definitely had to adjust for that one, and I imagine I'll have to adjust for the next one, but. We'll figure it out.
What are your thoughts on that adjustment? One, on just recently, being a young man, flying around, doing hard jiu-jitsu all the time, every day, no thought.
Yep.
How does it feel now to just be like, okay, if I'm going to still do the things that I enjoy, I've got to make these adjustments?
Yeah.
What does that feel like?
Well, I just have to be more aware of my frequency of training, who I'm training with. There was definitely a time when I realized the way I used to do it. It's probably around 33 or 34. Is when I really started having to, maybe even before that, start slowing down a little bit. Every day was a hard training day, it felt like, and the injuries were racking up, and I just felt tired all the time, super fatigued, and just didn't feel like I was really making the most of my situation. So definitely the frequency had to change. I wasn't training, obviously can't train hard every single day, pick and choosing my days and trying to stay on a schedule of, I know this day is going to be a hard day. I know this day is going to be more of a drill day. This could be a chill day. And then trying to find the right amount in 1 week to where I can consistently do that for, 6 or 7 weeks getting ready for a tournament. So, and just, there's certain guys in the room where it's like, all right, this round's going to count. Like this is, we're going to go for it. And then the guys in the room where it's like, I'm just going to kind of relax and play a little bit regather myself before I do that again with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
To where beforehand it was just like every round was going to be hard.
Oh yeah.
We were going to throw down every round. Didn't matter who it was. Like whether you're white, blue, purple, brown, black, didn't matter. It's like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. It doesn't really matter who's in front of me. So that has had to change quite a bit. But yeah, it seems like every time I've done it, and hopefully leading up to this one, it's the choices that I have made leading up to the last couple competitions is I've definitely felt great going out there competing. So just listening to my body more, definitely not pushing through injuries because I just can't afford to anymore. Like this last back injury I had not only kept me off of training, but I couldn't even really teach. And that's really my main focus. Like my competition is whatever. I'll find time for it whenever I can find time for it. But if I can't be out there teaching and coaching, then, you know, that's my job. That's what I do.
Absolutely.
So anytime that's at risk, I have to, you know, it's not all about me anymore. You know, it's about the team, and being a coach is my main focus. So if anything gets in the way of that, then that'll be it. You know,
Makes sense.
Maybe I don't compete again, but yeah, as long as I can find that healthy balance of doing both. And
Hey, real quick, guys, this is Josh McKinney, and I swear to fix Jiu Jitsu. I swear to dismantle every part, every toxic part of Jiu Jitsu. The cult leaders, arrested. The mat bullies, publicly armbarred. Injury fakers, wrist lock deniers, and unsolicited advice givers, banished to a gym where no one even knows who John Danaher is. And in order to accomplish all this, all we need is for the I Suck at Jiu-Jitsu show to explode. And all that takes is a 5-star review, a like, a comment from you. Yes, that is it. That is the spark that burns all of it to the ground, everything that we hate about Jiu-Jitsu. So go ahead, leave the review, join the resistance, and remember, nobody is safe from the purge. Not even the guy who says, oh, after every round. Especially not the guy who says, oh, after every round.
figure it out, try to do something later on this year.
Do you feel if you know, for whatever reason, whatever happens, you couldn't compete anymore, do you feel that fulfillment from being full-time coach? And you're having good success as a full-time coach. Do you feel that same fulfillment, or is there this thing where it's like, you know, is basically what I'm asking is competition this thing that you feel like, this is my duty, this is this thing I have to do, or is it this thing where you're like, man, I have to do this because this is who I am?
Yeah. So after I competed last, there was a good period of time I was like, oh, I think I'm good. I think I'm pretty content. Like, not saying I would never do it again, but there wasn't really that fire to like, oh, let's go run one of those back. But as time has went on, and you know, seeing the success of the team, and then David jumping back into competition, you know, that kind of fired me up, because it was just me and him forever, traveling all over the country, 26 hours to Long Beach in a van, watching Always Sunny over and over and over. And kind of took me back to those times, like, oh, no, there's something still in there, man. There's something, I still think I can do something pretty big, you know, at the master's level. And as time has went on, it's kind of grown a little bit. It's starting to fire back up, and I can't really tell if, like, because it was gone there for a second, didn't really feel to need to do any of that. But as time has went on, it's like, is that thing always going to be there? Am I ever going to really fulfill that thing? Or is this like, you're just a competitor, there's always going to be some little tick in there that's going to be like, oh, it's time to fire back up. Who knows? Maybe one day it'll go away, but there's definitely something still in there for sure.
Bro, you're preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
I get that. I fully get the feelings. Why I ask is because there's this thing that, you know, for me, not that it's bad for me to do, but it's just not super logical for me to do.
Yeah.
But I really like to compete.
Yeah.
It's just something about it. It just makes it makes you go, yeah, this is it. I don't know why it is, because the actual action of competing, I actually hate.
Me too. Yeah.
I completely hate
Yeah.
it. I'm not a day out going, I'm so happy that I did this.
Yeah.
This was such a great idea. I'm so glad I haven't eaten in 6 days.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, this is thrilling.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just, there's something about it. Even the lead up to it, I'm like, man, haven't eaten. I'm thirsty. Now I'm warming up in this cold place.
Yep.
I don't feel good today. I don't want to do this.
Yep.
And then you do it and you're like, man, when is the next tournament
Yeah.
that I have?
It's like that moment right afterwards, like the moments leading up, especially the day of competition. It's like, I could be doing so many other things right now.
Literally anything else.
It's like, you're like looking at everybody else in the bullpen and they're all like getting themselves warmed up and all looking in the zone. Like, I'm so far out of the zone right now. It's like, I'm thinking about what I could eat later. All these things I've been depriving myself from. It's like, so it's almost like, oh, just go get these matches over and you get all these things, you get to reward yourself no matter what. Try to make some sort of positive light. But that feeling is never like, every time I've competed, like the thought of it, training for it and all that stuff, whatever, leading up. And then the time comes, it's like, let's go do something else. You know? I don't really want to be here right now around these people. And then you do it. And then there's that moment afterwards, you're like, oh, I'm going to go do it again.
Yeah.
I want to, like, there's something about that feeling. Obviously winning, the feeling's a little bit better.
Of course.
But even going out there, preparing for something, whether you win or lose, like, for me, I know it kind of gets me back in balance, just getting ready for a competition, being disciplined again. Because when I'm not, I got it back in order. But there for a while, dude, after the last one, I was like, I'm going to eat whatever I want, do whatever I want, have fun when I want to have fun. Because I felt like there was from 18 until, right around when I opened the gym, everything was on a schedule. Everything was about what I ate, how hard I trained, all this stuff. And then when I take a step back as a coach, I'm just focusing on the students, and I'm starting to enjoy these things. I kind of, I skipped a lot of birthdays. I skipped a lot of fun celebrations because I had to train. Or, big get-togethers with all this food is like, well, I couldn't wait. I don't want to be around these things. I don't want to be around these people. Like, I want to be focused. And when you kind of take that away and start enjoying things a little bit, start enjoying things a lot a bit, it's kind of hard to come back from that. It's like, do I really want to stop all this fun stuff I've been doing and really go back to, because there's no, I've played that line before to where I've had success really not training that hard and not being disciplined. And then you have that, those big wake up calls where it's like, okay, you just face somebody who really cared about this. Yeah. And that's what that feels like. And it's humiliating knowing that you could have done more. So, at the later half of my competition career, whatever you want to call it, I was pretty strict on everything. I really wanted to take it serious and see what I could, really get out of myself. And I don't see any other way of doing that going forward. Like, if I'm going to compete, especially as an owner of a gym, you kind of want to lead by example. I want to be smashing a cheeseburger on the way in, showing up 30 minutes late, looking out of a book, which I bring that up because my first instructor would do that. Show up 30 minutes late. I don't know if I've told this story before, but showed up 30 minutes late with a Hoyler Gracie book with a Wendy's triple stack in his hand. And he just goes, as he's smashing the cheeseburger, just flipping pages, like, this is what we'll do.
This is what we'll do. I love it.
Not going to be that guy. Can't be that guy.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. But dude, I get the feeling. It's this weird feeling of, I know what it feels like to really care about competition and really be in it.
Yeah.
And then there is the problem of like, and I can't do it unless I'm going to be in it.
Yeah.
I can't just do medium heavyweight. I got to do middleweight.
Yeah.
It's just, I know that is better for me to have a best chance of winning.
Yeah.
And I don't want to walk in with the mindset at middleweight saying, oh, this was easier, but what if it was less chance of winning? You know, every decision I make should be additional chances of winning.
100%.
And it's hard when when you've been at that top level of that, and you go for yourself and you go, oh yeah, this is the top level. This is, I cannot, I don't know if I can perfect, I can make little tweaks. I can't perfect the routine much more than this.
Yeah.
But then you go, man, like you said, you start to just get out of that. Yeah. And that routine is hard. Yeah. And this is my completely unscientific. I have nothing with this. It's just something I've been thinking about, but the idea of balance, and we all say it all the time. I think you've said it even a couple times already. And this is, I say it all the time. There's this funny meme that says, like, if you're in a Zoom meeting, you don't have to pay attention to anything, but when they go to you, just say, yeah, I really think it's all about balance. Yeah. And everybody's going to be real, right? And it's like, and we always say that, and I think it's because we all struggle with that. But how I've been using the analogy of balance is a lot of times we expect it to be something just perfectly balanced, standing straight up. But when you watch most things balance, or I just like how I talk about it's like the pendulum swings. Sometimes the pendulum swings, but you go and get on that opposite side of the pendulum and push it really hard, and it swings back.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I wonder if people that, especially martial artists, maybe it's other types of people too, but martial artists, competitive jiu-jitsu people, if we're made for that, if we're just made for the swing back and forth of I'm a competitor, I'm not a competitor,
Yeah.
I'm a competitor, I'm not a competitor.
Yeah.
And that is kind of part of the balance of life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yep. I know when I'm not or here as of late, like I said, when I'm really enjoying myself, like I made for like the whole last year, I hurt my back pretty bad last May, and that made me take a lot of time off. And then I started enjoying myself more, doing fun things. So it's like I can't really do too much. I can barely feel half my leg. Like I'm not going to be able to train that hard and go teach, but then I'd go out of town, take the family places. And that's another thing that I didn't really get to do too much when I was competing a lot, because I was always traveling by myself to all these different places. And now that, you know, I've taken a step back and be able to take my kids all over the country with me and just enjoy that. It's like, it's so hard to like want to give that up, but I'm kind of extreme on both sides. It's like, if I'm in, I'm going to be all the way in. But if I'm out, I'm pretty much all the way out.
I get it.
You know, and it's hard for me to want to swing back the other way. But I told myself earlier this year, you know, New Year's resolutions, I'm going to start getting it together, start lifting again, start picking things up. And I just realized, like, just a little bit at a time, like, it doesn't have to be all the way back in. I can just slowly pick things back up and still let my body heal, still do some fun things, and then slowly work towards getting my body back ready for potentially running it back. So.
Yeah, I love it, man. And yeah, there's just something about it. I don't know, something about being a competitor.
Yeah.
This is completely different note. How fun was the TAC team black belt meetup, TAC team day, black belt only? How fun was that?
You know, I've only been on the team to do 2 of them. I don't know how many you've been to, but that
was the first one I've been to.
So I went to the last one, and it was at Jared's old gym, and I think there was more black belts at the last one. But both times, man, have just been, I mean, the energy on this team is just so awesome to be around all those people, and a lot of people you don't even know, but when you're in that room, it's kind of like we're all there for the same reason, and just the energy you feel in that room and hanging out afterwards. And like I said, I was going to party, and I did.
Oh, yeah, you did.
And I probably said more than I should have, but
you know what?
People get me going, and Listen, I'll get going.
You did exactly what you told us after open mat that you were going to do. You didn't lie.
Yeah.
You didn't say, hey, guys, I think maybe I'll have a cocktail tonight.
Yeah.
You let us know.
Yeah, I had a feeling, you know, that's where it was going to go for me. You know, as I'm being around, you know, out of town, having a fun trip with all the black belts and being around my friends and knowing that we're going to a bar that night, and Jared's, you know, hyping me up always about, we're going to drink, we're going to do this, we're going to have some fun. So I was like, all right, well, I'm having fun.
You were in?
Like, I'm letting everybody know here, and if you're not having fun around me, then stay somewhere else.
I'll tell you
I'm going to
this.
enjoy my time.
I had a lot of fun around you.
Good.
I had a lot of fun. You kept me very entertained.
Good. That's the thing when I'm getting a couple of drinks in me, dude. I remember waking up the next day, I'm like, dude, you know, just some things you don't have to say. You don't have to, you don't have to go up on these rants about people, and it'll just, dude, I'll just keep going. I'll just hit the zone where it's like, no, I'm not done talking shit. I'm going to keep letting this roll. I'm going to keep just...
Listen,
and I hit one of those speeds, man. I was definitely letting it rip.
You were letting it rip. It was pretty fun. I thought it was a blast.
Yeah.
But for me, I wasn't surprised by it because I've hung out with drunk Devin before.
Yeah.
You know, like I think post AGF Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say that we brought a small crew. You guys won though. I think first place in adults and maybe second place for kids.
Yeah.
Would that be right?
Something like that.
And I remember there being a point in the night where you and I were really contemplating making a video at, you know, 11 p.m., 12 a.m., something like that, making a video saying, hey, we want to call out the kids team that beat us. We're going to meet you at 1 a.m. at Pirata Jiu Jitsu. And we were saying we would fight every single one of the kids as big as their team was. And we would, put the trophies on the line.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got a little glimpse of that before.
Yeah. I think that it might have even been my idea to fight all those kids, though. You were just really on board.
I'm sure it didn't take a lot. You just mentioned it's like, I'm in, sold. Fighting kids, no problem. Taking their trophy, not a big deal. I'm in.
I like that. So I asked you before the podcast if you could come up with some things, because you always have some great ones, but some things in the jiu-jitsu space that annoy you, frustrate you. Maybe you don't like, maybe you don't, just any hot topic. Sometimes it's just fun to hear what hot take Devin has for right now.
I would say, there's a lot that I've probably said before that annoy me, like our old school things. But I think owning a gym, I've gotten rid of a lot of like more traditional like ways of running the academy, or how you put yourself out there on the mats as a black belt, as a coach, as the instructor. I'm not big on the bowing to the mats, things like that. Don't do that. I don't care that you shake every black belt's hand in the room, and I definitely will never respect you if you call me professor. I cannot stand that. I don't know. There's something about it. It's like the first thing that pops in my head is, have you seen Talladega Nights?
Uh-huh.
When he's like, you don't have to call me dad and call me whatever you want. He's like, Professor Dickweed. So that's what I'm like, call me Professor Dickweed. I'd rather take that than just professor in the. I can't stand it, dude. And I've trained at traditional gyms where it's like, you got to not only bow to step on the mat, you got to bow to every black belt, make sure you shake every black belt's hand. Like there's this big respect thing. I'm like, dude. Or another one I can't stand. I'm about to wrap some off, dude. Another one I can't stand.
Give me machine gun, dude.
Is when somebody's tying their belt and they turn around and turn their back to me.
The belt against the wall.
I just started choking people. I'm like, you're gonna turn your back to me to tie your belt, dude? Like, what does that even mean? I don't even know where that came from. Yeah. It's like a respect. Oh, it's professional. Like, let's get the os out of here too. All of it. The shaka hands, dude. Like, this is my thing. I'll do a thumbs up. I feel like that's pretty cool.
Thumbs up is solid.
But I was thinking about this. When guys are taking pictures of each other and then they point at each other.
Oh, yeah.
That one?
This guy.
Yeah. There's a guy, I won't say his name. We both know him, both train with him.
Oh, no.
I just noticed in all of his pictures.
Oh, no. He's a pointer?
He's a pointer. And I'm like, no. What are we
Maybe
doing?
He's
and then
just
you guys
always
are pointing at each other and you guys are like almost touching each other's fingers as you guys are pointing at each other.
Touching tips.
Gingerly.
Yeah.
Touching tips. And I'm like, that's, the os, the shaka thing. There was one that used to happen. I don't see it happen as much anymore. But there's this one time I was training with somebody and he's like, I'm going to use my right hand and snaps. And I was like, do I look like a dog? Are you treating me like you snap? Like, I know which hand is what. Don't ever snap.
Okay.
When people snap, they're like, I'm going to take this hand here and I'm going to put on. I was like, I'm not a dog. Don't snap at me. As soon as he started snapping, I was out. I don't even remember what he showed. I was just like, you can't do that, dude. That's not, I'm going to wait until training now. I'm going to bide my time, and then we're going to have to fight each other. You can't snap at me.
Snap instead of tap?
Oh, dude, yeah. Or their hands are readily available to tap to like defend a choke, and they start stomping them out with their foot.
Hate that.
Dude, that's the thing. Yeah. Like, I'm trying not to tell old stories that I've probably told before, but that's one thing that Kling kind of instilled in me was make sure you tap the person.
Oh, yeah. Because
if I tapped the mat, especially with my foot, he would put me to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
He would not respect me tapping. He's like, are you fighting the mat? I'm like, no. He's like, are you fighting me? He's like, then you tap me. Don't tap the mat. Don't snap. Don't use your foot. Definitely don't use your foot. And you hold on a little bit longer, calls it double pump. I'll be already out. And he's like, just a little bit more.
That's
it's terrible. It's terrible. So bad. Fun to look back on now. But
because I'm sure there were times that you did tap him and you still went to sleep.
100%.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's what I thought, because it wasn't like it would have been a lesson if there was a contrast, to the other side of like tapping on him.
Or he would run this clock choke to where he'd be so far away from me that there's no reaching him.
You can't tap. Yeah, your arms are stuck on the ground.
He knew that. So he's like, oh, you're not tapping. He's not tapping me. I'm not going to let go. And then I'm like, violently convulsing and waking up for the 4th time because I can't find him anywhere. And then I can't find anything because I'm half blind. Don't even know where I'm at. My body's shutting down. He's like, another, more. So yeah, the snapping thing, that's got to go. Yeah, I mean, there's so much stuff, dude. Like I can't spend too much time on Instagram because I'll just get pissed off with the reels and things, and like the fact that everybody can have an opinion now, and that's cool and all, but it's like most of the time you're wrong. I'll just say that it's like it's wrong. I don't want to watch this stuff, and by like 2 or 3 reels, I'm like, I'm gonna throw my phone. I can't watch this, dude. I love jiu-jitsu, and I love how popular it's getting, but with all this stuff that's going on, you know, it's just a lot. Most of it annoys me. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Most of jiu-jitsu and things about jiu-jitsu annoy me now. Just start sounding like that crazy old man. 'Cause I've been doing it for a while, almost 20 years.
But isn't that just the cycle of life?
Yeah.
Isn't that balance?
Yeah.
You know, that you end up replacing the old man who used to be like, hey, the future is now, old man.
Yeah.
You know? And now we're like, man, let's just go back a little bit in
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu. This is the only thing that I think about going back to. Okay. And not that this doesn't happen, but it happens way less now. And now it's frowned upon. And there's podcast episodes that are negative towards it because it's hazing. But it's when you defend the mats.
Yeah.
The mats need defended.
100%.
I didn't have to explain it in a weird way to you.
Yeah.
I didn't have to be like, you know, when a guy comes in and he's really muscular and he's throwing everybody around, he's slamming girls on their head.
Yeah.
How do you handle that? You know, of course, first you should tell him to stop.
Yeah.
But regardless of if he stops,
He's gonna get taken care of.
haven't you heard of a receipt?
Yeah. This is a thing. Like people are. This is why I don't get on Instagram, man.
See, you don't know that? You don't
This
know
is
that
the
people,
thing. Like people are like, that's frowned upon.
a lot of people are not fans of
Don't come to my gym.
mat enforcing.
That's all it is. Like I mean, even you could be doing things right and things are gonna happen, but that's hilarious. That's I don't know, it could just be the way you moved or something.
Yeah.
Don't have to be anything like that. But yeah, no, that'll never. I'm not in my gym. That'll never go away. What are
No.
you talking about?
Yeah.
Who said that? Send me their Instagram.
Listen,
I'll have
I'm
a
not
talk.
trying to start. I'm
I'll
not
have a
trying to
talk.
start
I'll get on
anything.
that podcast.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to start anything. I'm just saying, people. That's common. People just they don't like the mat enforcer, dude. They don't like the. And to you and I, not only is it tradition, but it is an essential part of tradition. When we're telling our story to our grandchildren, it
Yeah.
will be, hey, did this Naga and won a belt. Here it is. You know, all the jewels have fallen off of it.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing that you're telling your grandkids, the other thing you're going to tell them is that.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, that's like that. Also, this whole story kind of just popped up another thing I can't stand. I was like, you know what kind of gyms probably don't like that are the ones that do the time cards. You know, you ever heard of those? To where like you just show up and you like check in on this card, and after a certain amount of classes that you checked in at, you get a stripe or something like that. Dude. Those are the kind of okay. I get it from those gyms. You know, they're just trying to flesh things out. Like come in, act like you were here. Do whatever. As long as you check that card, you'll get your belt. And you'll probably do a test for this belt, which is also, I don't want to say the R word, but it's dumb. It's dumb. Like, testing for a belt, you have this list of moves you have to learn. And I've seen like some of these associations tests. Like I saw a blue belt test. I'm like, I don't even know. I was like a brown belt test. I don't even know half these moves. And I sat in on one. And it's like, so you study these moves, you perform them from this instructor, not live.
Yeah.
Just like, I'm like, oh, I could do that.
Just
like,
do step by step.
and that's like, and then you have all these checks on this card that says that you put in your time. You just showed up, and doesn't matter what you did with that time. Whether you trained, sat on the wall, probably sat on the wall, talked about your day, did 3 reps of this, ducked every hard round in the room, broke a sweat, and then got out of there. You know what I'm saying? And then you're gonna get promoted at the same time as somebody that's actually putting in the work, all because the time card matches up. That's the kind of gym
okay.
that
So
doesn't have mat enforcers.
So is it, that's very true. I'm sure they don't, but is it bad that as you were explaining that, I was actually getting like anxiety about being a coach and having to keep track of how many classes everybody has attended? That was where my mindset was. I was like, dude, I can't do that. There's
Yeah,
no way I
no.
can't, you know, I don't even know half these guys' names. How am I supposed to write them
yeah.
down?
I don't
You know?
Yeah, there's people walking in. I'm like, you train here? That's crazy. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I
that's-
know everybody, but yeah, I don't have a check-in system either, which I don't know if you have a check-in like where somebody comes in on an iPad and something like that. Like that might be different to like, you know, maybe you didn't notice somebody was taking some time off. You didn't really hear from them. You want to reach back out to them. But if you're doing this whole thing just to like add how many classes you've done together for a potential promotion, it's like that's BS, dude.
Yeah.
I can't stand that. And those are also probably the gyms that have Helio Gracie or Carlos Gracie on the wall and they bow to this picture.
Mm-hmm.
You've been in my gym, right?
Yeah.
I got Tony Soprano up there. That's who we bow to, but we don't bow. We go, we don't say, oh, Maroon. Hey.
Yeah. You have
So I make
Tupac
fun of all
candles.
these-
You have Tupac candles in the bathroom.
That I do.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yeah. Datsusara makes gear for grapplers, but not just any gear. This is the stuff that you actually want to wear. I started with their bags. I've owned so many bags in my life, but currently my Datsusara fanny pack and backpack have replaced my entire bag arsenal. And recently, I tried one of their gis. And I don't know if it's the hemp or the weave, but honestly, it is the most comfortable gi I have ever rolled in. I really mean that. It feels like you're doing jiu-jitsu naked, but it doesn't get you kicked out of the gym. All of this gear that I've talked about is built from hemp. That means that it is stronger, it's eco-friendly, and somehow it doesn't stink like all the other gear that you do jiu-jitsu in. You can grab anything from their site at dsgear.com and get 10% off with promo code ISUCK. Whether you're packing for war or you're lounging between rounds, Datsusara has something for you. Go check them out.
I'm probably the most untraditional Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy there is that owns an academy. I don't do any of that stuff. None of it.
What do you think about American Jiu-Jitsu? You said Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu since you brought it up, you know?
Well, technically, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I just call it Jiu-Jitsu now.
Yeah.
Like it's popular enough around the world. It's just Jiu-Jitsu now. It's not Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to me anymore. It's just Jiu-Jitsu. But I don't know. I mean, when I train at your gym and my other friends' gyms that are American, it feels like it's like there's just some sort of vibe there that's like kind of different than going to a traditional Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school. Mm-hmm. And that might be kind of what I'm doing is kind of what it is. Like it's a little bit more informal. Like we're there to train hard, we're there to get the work done, but all the extra stuff that goes on with it's like, we just get that out of here.
Yeah.
Like show up. I don't expect you to come shake all of our hands, bow to the mat, bow to me. Oh, it's professor. Don't ever, like I said, never do that. Never, ever. I mean, they already, like when we go to other people's gyms or people that do that, it's like automatically just like, I don't even want to shake your hand.
Yeah.
Like you say, oh, hey professor, how's it going? You know, and going to like, I remember sitting at Worlds one year, like right next to Andre Galvao, and the amount of times there was this guy, I don't know if it was like one of his students, I think it was one of his students, but it's like, how you doing, professor? Do you need a coffee, professor? Do you need this professor? Like just like right on his, like the dude's trying to coach and they're just like, professor this, professor that. And I'm like, no, let's get over with this whole professor stuff. I don't know why that one irks me so bad, but I just can't stand it. I'm not a smart guy. Don't call me professor.
I was just about to say, I think
brute.
it could be that, you know, you spent your time doing jiu-jitsu, getting good at jiu-jitsu, becoming a black belt, and then you're like, man, I don't feel like a professor.
Yeah, not at all. Yeah.
I don't know where we're getting this term from, but this doesn't feel right.
Not at all.
You know?
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Like, yeah, I'm not that guy. You know, I'm not that smart, and I'm really not that good at jiu-jitsu. I have a black belt, but I'm really not that good at it either. So maybe it's like an inferior thing. I'm like, oh, maybe this guy thinks I'm good. He's calling me professor. I'm gonna find out later that I'm not that good.
Yeah, it's weird to me too. You know, it's weird to me. Just like, you know, no, it's just Josh. It's just Josh, man. You know, it's just my name.
You ever get that? You get into students like, what should I call you? It's like, my name. What's your name? Just call me my name.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to. Or you get the ones that are come from more traditional martial arts that call you sensei, and I'm like, no, that's not it either. Mm-hmm. Just call me my name. We're all people here. It's all good.
It's always funny when you get somebody new that comes in. There's just a new guy at Revive today. I went and trained with Nick and Junior at Revive. And this dude is talking about, I don't even remember what it was, but he said something to me like, wait, you guys don't bow. Like, really? You guys don't bow? You don't have to bow before you get on the mat? And I'm like, no. And then he's like, and he's trained for like 2 years, but he's trained at only places where you have to bow before you get on the mat. And I'm not joking. I watched this dude walk on the mat as if it was like, am I gonna fall into the underworld if I don't bow before? Like he like on purpose was like, well, if they don't bow, I'm not gonna bow.
Yeah.
And he like walked onto the mat. I'm like, man, the posture on this kid is
Does
crazy.
the Billy walk?
Yep, he does.
Change his whole life, not bowing to the mat.
Does the Vince McMahon?
Yeah.
You know. And so he's he's on the dark side now.
Yeah, good.
You
Welcome.
know.
It's the best place to be.
It's always you always got to worry about those things that come from being a being on the dark side, being a anti-traditional guy. What else you hate? Tell me what. I'm very careful. I've been saying, what else do you hate, and not who else do you hate?
Oh,
because we don't have enough. There's not enough time that we could record a podcast.
And how long did you sit there in Philadelphia and hear me just rag on people I don't like? I felt like
in total, like it was a while.
It was a while. I got going.
It was a bit, man.
Yeah.
And you were saying you didn't want to use the R word.
Yes.
Drunk Devin doesn't mind.
Yeah,
he don't think
man,
think twice about it.
I say, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, top volume.
That's why I was like, first coming. I'm apologize for what I said. Who knows what I said, man? Especially when people are like just kind of hyping it up a little bit. Everybody's laughing. I'm like, oh, I'm hitting. I'm just gonna keep letting it rip.
But you were hitting. I really not only did I laugh then, but I've laughed every time I've told the story. And boy, have I told the story.
Yeah. There's probably, just the longest list of people of who I hate in jiu-jitsu, but we'll save that for behind doors.
Yeah.
Let's
Let's make sure the
that too
podcast
public.
is making a bunch of money one day before you get it
and
canceled.
Then I just let it rip. Yeah. That would definitely hurt some feelings for sure.
Yeah. We'll need you a list in front of you just so you don't miss anybody.
Oh, dude. Yeah. I mean, like I was saying, writing the list earlier, like, I have to think about it. As soon as you said people, it's like, nope. Don't have to think about it. No. It's right here.
I know it is.
And their faces are right here. And I think about them a lot more than I should. They ran a lot of space in my head.
Uh-huh.
But hey, it keeps me going.
Why is
keeps
that?
Me sharp. I don't know what that is, man. I've always been that way. It's like I can think about all these positive things and that can really take up my brain. And I've tried to do that. It's like, oh, think positive. And then somebody's face will pop up and it's like, that's where the positivity ends. You have to be negative, man.
Yeah.
Start just getting quiet, shaking a little bit, just thinking about it. But yeah, I don't know, man. There's a lot of dorks. I like that word. There's a lot of dorks in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
A lot that we know, and there's, a lot that I scroll on Instagram. There's a lot of dorks, man.
Yeah.
Don't have time for dorks.
I'm not saying that this is like a woe is me thing, but it is actually a little bit hard to be your friend sometimes because it's just hard to keep track of who we hate.
Yeah.
Because I'm the type of friend that if you hate somebody, well, I hate them too.
Which I like. I'm the same way, but I try to tell everybody, I'm like, this is my beef. If you want to jump in, that's cool.
This is my
But if I go take off on somebody, I don't expect you guys to like.
Okay.
It's cool. It's cool. Like, maybe cheer me on, but you don't have to jump in and ruin whatever relationships, because there's certain relationships here of people I don't like. And there's people on our team that do like those people. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, try to walk that line. But at the same time, it's like, you don't have to back me up. I don't expect you to fight my battles, but I'll definitely fight those battles.
Yeah, so. I get that. Jiu-jitsu friendships, and not just friendships, jiu-jitsu relationships, because you have coach-student relationship, and you have so many other different, you have coach-head of affiliation relationship, and coach is your coach on an affiliation relationship. There's a lot of relationships in jiu-jitsu, and they can get political, and they can get bad. And so it is tough to, it's a really cool thing to remain friends with people over a long time.
Yeah.
But in the jiu-jitsu space, it ain't super common.
No, yeah. Some relationships are going to take a turn eventually, and I mean, it is what it is. It's what it is, man. I mean, a majority of the people that I started with started around, like, if they hadn't quit, or even if they had we started together and they quit, like, I'm still super cool with a lot of people, but there's definitely some that I was cool with, and now it's like, it's hard for me to be in the same room as them. I don't like, there's some tournaments locally that, I have to keep my focus on what's going on. The kids competing, the adults competing, because it's like, it's easy to start looking the other way at the guy over here that I can't stand. As long as he keeps his distance, I'll keep mine. But the moment I feel anything at all, it's like, and everybody on my team knows that. They all know it. They all know, like, they've seen me get pretty rowdy at places. So, and they all back me up on it. And like I tell them, just like I tell everybody else, it's like, if it's me and it's my thing, you don't worry about it. Like if unless you want to jump in and have my back, like I don't expect anybody to fight those battles. Like I have issues with these people. Doesn't mean you should have issues with these people. I don't want to be inside of anybody else's friendships. But at the same time, like if we're getting into something, just stay back.
And here's the problem with that though, Devin, is if somebody had a problem with me, the first person there is you.
100%. Yeah.
And that's true. That's a true statement.
Yeah.
So how am I supposed to not have your back?
I just don't expect that back. I don't know if that's just like I've always kind of been that way. And especially if it's somebody that's beefing with you that I already don't like, then yeah, I'm gonna.
Oh yeah, you're definitely
like the moment there's any movement at all, I'm gonna be there. But even if something were to happen, and it's just people I'm cool with, anybody I have any kind of friendship with, like if they're getting into something, I'm getting into something.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how it goes for me. I just don't ever expect that. I don't ever expect that back. It's in a weird way. It's like that's just who I am as a person. If one of my friends got something going on, then I got something going on. That's how it is. I got time for it.
I like that. If you run a gym or you're even thinking about starting one, please stop trying to do it all manually. I've tried Kicksite for years for web management, for student billing, for tracking attendance, all of it. And they are basically like the easy button for jiu-jitsu business owners. You focus on teaching, they handle the tech headache. Check them out at kicksite.com/Josh McKinney to see how they can streamline your entire gym's life. They've supported me for years and they will support you too. I like that. So tell me, you referenced it at like the very beginning of the podcast. The last time you competed was St. Louis, the infamous I'm not here to make friends match.
Yeah.
So tell me what went through your mind that you said, you know what, the back of this gi is blank. I'm not here to make friends on the back of my gi.
I don't know. There's something about getting in the zone before a match. And some guys like, I noticed it a lot less at black belt, but I just wanted to make it a point. It's like, we can talk and be cordial after the match, but before the match, like, I'm not here to be anybody's friend.
Yeah.
I like to be in my own zone. I don't like talking to people when I'm competing. I'm super anxious, get super nervous, and that never really has gone away. But I like to hone that energy in a different way. Mm-hmm. I don't need the guy I'm about to compete with coming to talk to me. Tim's like, hey, good luck, buddy. Let's have a good. I'm like,
I don't even know you, dude.
Yeah. Don't even look in my direction. I don't care anything about you right now. And it's not
there's
like a
a
malicious way. I just don't want to talk.
97% chance that I'm about to hate you.
Yeah. Yeah. And if we want to talk afterwards, let's stop talking now because this is going to roll into something afterwards. Like just keep your space. And I try to tell that to my newer students. It's kind of a deal. It's like, I don't like seeing them, and this could be an a-hole-ish thing, but as a coach, it's like, I don't want you talking to the competitors you're about to compete with. Like, I want you to get in your zone. You guys prepared hard. You trained hard. I want you to get the most out of this situation, this competition. And I remember when I was coming up multiple times to where, you're warming up next to a guy at some random tournament and you're not talking to him and you kind of pull yourself back a little bit and you go out there and a guy tries to take your head off. You know what I'm saying?
Tries to kill you.
Butters you up and then tries to kill you. So I'm like, let's just skip that part and let's just get to the business, Yep. Not here to be your friend.
Let's just agree that we're here to go.
Yeah, that's it. It's not like anything like a fight to me. I don't consider jiu-jitsu a fight, but it's a serious competition. And, I had a lot of people there. I had a lot of people travel over. Like, I'm trying to get the most out of this situation. So in my mind, it's like nothing nice. We can't, no, we're not talking. And we didn't. So it worked out perfect.
It was. It did. That was a great, I love Wade Barden's, I'm here to make friends. Key that he got after that.
We had talked about that on his podcast, and he's like, "You got to wear that one to." It was like a team day at Watson's. So I show up there with that on around a whole bunch of our teammates that I don't know, and I'm like,
"This is amazing."
I can't I'm walking past people. I see him looking at the back of me. He's like, "No, we're friends.
Yeah,
no, we're
I'm
friends.
cool. I'm cool with you. We're teammates.
This is a joke. You'll see in a second. This is a joke." I just look like an a-hole just walking through the room with I'm not here to make friends on the back of my gi, just popping out. It's like there's a time and place for that, but it's funny to have that happen. He made that gi, and I wore mine, and as soon as everybody saw it, it's like, I got to take that. I'm changing this out. Like, these are my boys. These are my friends. I want to be friends with these people.
Yeah.
I don't want them to get a different vibe from me. I don't want to be that. I already got neck tattoos.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what this does? All this does for me?
A lot of positive stuff. Probably a lot of job interviews.
It's the best, dude. Like, yeah. I mean, anytime I walk in a room, everybody's just so happy to see me. they love that I'm there, especially like old country cafes with all the old people in there. They're they love that I'm there. They don't feel uncomfortable at all. When I walk in the room, there's like, oh, this brightens my day to see this tattoo guy walk in the room. It's actually the opposite.
Listen, try walking in with your white wife when you're brown, bro. They don't like you at those country cafes either.
Yeah,
Their feelings
there too.
And there's less fear, you know.
Yeah.
There's more. The fear is more from me, you know.
Yeah, but that's what I was speaking of. This is the one thing that happens. I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and you have a wife that trains, so I don't know if you have the same situation or it's just me that looks like a wife beater. But anytime Bianca gets a bruise, a black eye or anything like that, we cannot go grocery shopping together. We can't do anything together because it's immediate. Hey, are you safe at home?
Oh,
are you okay?
Gosh,
the doctors have asked her.
crazy.
Like they'd see me and they pull her aside. Like I'm not in the room with like, hey, do you feel safe at home? Because she's got these bruises on her. I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
Kind of look like that guy.
Yeah, you're pretty scary, dude.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I mean, the neck tattoos don't help out that situation. Or,
Yeah.
Any situation really. They've done more negative than positive, but I love them. I'm actually gonna get one right here. Just seal the deal.
I like that. You should get I Suck at Jiu Jitsu show,
Right
bro.
there.
That would be gangster.
For
that
$20, you got it.
$20.
That's
I could
it.
do. I could swing $20.
All right.
I can do that. I gotta get my accounts in order, but I could get $20.
And that's a tall ask, but
yeah, that is.
I feel like meet me there. We'll be all right.
Devin, how did we become friends? You and I, we're competing against each other. How do we become buddies? You're mean to everybody, but I, on the other hand, I'm pretty much nice to everybody.
Well, when you beat me like you did, there wasn't too much I was going to be able to do about that situation. You know
but you were like, oh man, I like this guy now.
No, I mean, you just had good energy, I mean, obviously, when we competed, I didn't know you that well, but I knew of you, and I've been around you before. And then competing against you 2 years in a row and absolutely getting mopped. I was like, can't really be mad at the guy. Can't be mad at the guy that's beat me like that. You know what I'm saying? Joining the team, that definitely.
You're a much better person than I. You're a much more humble person than I am.
Dude, I'm just a realist. Like, dude, you beat me pretty bad both times. Both times we faced each other at that new breed. And the first year, tried to make all the excuses because the only person I beat that day was a white belt. Mm-hmm. I lost to a blue, purple, brown, and black as a brown belt. Mm-hmm. And none of the matches were good. And I was like, oh, it just wasn't my day. So I was like, another year. It's going to come back. I'm going to go back. I'm going to redeem myself. Had a great day. Finished it off with you. I'm like, here we go. Getting this dude back. Can't stand his face right now. I will stand it later. Can't stand it right now. He's smiling too much. He looks too happy to be here. I'm not happy to be here. Don't like it. And then you smoked me. I was like, you know what? Just let bygones be bygones, man. This dude's cool.
Yeah.
I can't beat him. Join him. So that's what I did.
I get that. To be fair, same exact tournament both years. I got submitted by Ezra Lennon.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I hate Ezra, but
Can't stand him.
he's my friend still. I don't, one of my least favorite people in the world, but he's my buddy.
Don't let this be on camera, but Ezra's the point guy.
Is Ezra the point guy? Is he
Go
really?
Look at his photo. Sorry, Ezra.
Oh
point guy.
my gosh.
He's one of the guys that's
You might have ruined
a
my
big
life,
pointer.
bro. I
Check
I
it.
won't be able to be friends with this guy anymore.
He's a point guy.
You didn't. Why did you tell me that?
I'm sorry. We just brought him up, and I can't keep it down.
Oh no!
I felt it in my neck
Ezra.
tattoos. Like I gotta say it. It's Ezra. Ezra's a point guy.
He's really the biggest Die Hard is not a Christmas movie person that you'll ever meet in your life.
So you think it's a Christmas movie?
Oh yeah. I'm a big Christmas movie. Are you no Christmas movie?
I've watched it a long time ago, and I remember there being a Christmas tree in there.
It's a Christmas tree in there. It's on Christmas Day, bro.
I would consider that.
What are we doing?
I'd say the Christmas movie.
Christmas movie,
Yeah.
no doubt. But yeah, Ezra, he leads the charge against.
Oh, dude, I remember you guys having that feud. That was a few years back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys going back and forth.
It was
over
like
it being a Christmas movie.
I can't beat you in these jiu-jitsu tournaments, so
Yeah.
I'm going to try to beat you.
But I'm winning. I'm dying on this hill.
I will die on
This
hill.
is a Christmas movie.
Really just started the podcast to push that propaganda
Yeah.
too,
That's all we can talk about. That's snippet right here. It's a Christmas movie. That's it. Mat Enforcers are cool. Don't snap your fingers. Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Cut it.
But on that point, though, back to the Mat Enforcer. We never finished this thought fully. there is something true. There's something traditional about being able to defend your mat. And there are terrible people that you're going to meet when you run a jiu-jitsu school
that deserve it.
How many crazy people have you know, how long have you had your school?
I've had my school for 3 years, but I've taught for a long time. And teaching, you're going to run into those people quite a bit. I couldn't even
How many crazy people that absolutely needed mat enforced and there was no other way around it?
A lot, man. I couldn't even tell you how many I've ran, you know, and for the longest time, us being a smaller school, you know, I had to take care of those things. And I remember some pretty bad ones, man, but I never felt bad for it. Like you don't get the hint. Like
it be like
you know
that,
what I'm saying?
bro.
You're not understanding what's going on here. Like you're doing things the wrong, you're approaching this the wrong way.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Especially when it's guys that have trained for a while that come in, you know, sometimes you get those newer wrestler white belts. It's like, okay, you go calm them down a little bit. But guys that have like put time in at other gyms, you know, upper ranks and stuff like that, come into your gym. Like me and David made a shirt and on the back it says protect your house.
Yeah.
It's the Vava Pirata team. Got to protect your house. And we're big on that. When somebody shows, like, even if it could be good energy, but like you represent yourself in your school well. Mm-hmm. But when things are kind of getting out of hand, then yeah, it's got to be taken care of. 100%.
And then on the other note too, I don't like the other side of things either, that a lot of times now with how people roll, and this is, again, roll however you want, but with how people roll, this is just things that annoy me, is like a lot of people, when you come in as a visitor, they won't roll with you. Yeah. They won't train with like the new visitor, and like the coaches won't train with you. None of the toughest guys will train with you. And if they do, they'll come in with the, you know, I'm really tired. My hips are really sore, and I'm this, I'm that. Can we just flow? Yeah. And then you'll be like, well, what are we doing here? Because I know you're going to go hard. Yeah. I know you're about to bring the heat on me, you know? And so I hate that tradition. I expect if I go to your gym that you will treat me how you should treat me, 100%. Which is we're going to try to kill you. Yeah. We're going to not only try to kill you, but our boys are going to be sitting out rounds. Yep. We're going to be texting guys that are at their apartment, at their house, being like, hey, we need your help. We got to take care of this guy. Yep. That's the treatment that I need. Yeah. Why am I here? 100%. Why would I take time out of my day to go stopping at your gym, to go give this little limp handshake like, hey, let's just move around a little bit. Like, what does that even mean? I could do that. Move around a little bit. Yes, I could move around a little bit with anybody. Yeah. Like I don't have to have driven here. I don't have to come visit here to flow. Yeah. You know? Not that I don't flow. I'm just saying, not when I'm visiting somewhere. No. Let's train. That's the language. Let's talk, you know? And that's I don't know. It's just this. I think from our generation, the biggest disconnect is we all acknowledge jiu-jitsu as the act of rolling live in jiu-jitsu. Yeah. And that's what jiu-jitsu is. Yep. And I think this generation recognizes jiu-jitsu as a experience, as an exercise class, as a fun thing to do. Yeah. So everything that you're doing during class is just like, you know, oh, we did jumping jacks, and then we did burpees, and then we did this. Like, oh, what did that work? I don't know. It was just made us work. That's how they feel about jiu-jitsu too. You know, what is this? We're just showing up and grappling. Yep. You know, breaking a sweat. Yeah. No, I agree with you. If I go and cross train in another gym, I respect it so much more when it's like, okay, I'm here to train, so let's train. You know, and guys really want to get after it. I don't see it any different. And I tell my guys the same thing. It's like, if we have a black belt come in, I shouldn't have to tell you to want to go with them. Like my brother's like, I shouldn't have to explain to you. You should be fighting over getting your there should be a line waiting for this guy when he comes in. 100%. Yeah. Hey, sir, where do you want to start? Let's grapple. Yeah. You know, professor, where do you want to start? Let's grapple. You know? Yeah. No professor. I have a black belt come in. It's like, oh, professor, can I train? It's like, you could have 5 seconds ago. But now we can't. Yeah. I'm now Dr. Devin. Friend. Yeah. All right. Professor Dickweed. That's literally the first thing that pops on my mind anytime. Like, oh, it's professor. I'm like, that's it, dude. So I kind of chuckle, but at the same time, it just irritates me. Yeah. Like everything does. I get it. You know, it's just the, there's something fun about the things that irritate you, though. Yeah. You know, because the way they irritate you is really what's fun. It is. You know? I mean, yeah, people, like, when I start going about the things that
that really get on my nerves. I don't know, people enjoy hearing me talk about it, but dude, there's certain things that I just can't. I don't know, it's icky. I don't know, there's something about it. It's just too much. It's way too much.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've gone and hung out with you at tournaments. I can just tell there's, there's not a lot of the people that I know that I'm friends with, I'm like waving to across the room and they see you sitting by me and they're just like, nah, I'm going to stay over here.
You don't know what's going to happen, dude. I don't know what's going to happen. I find out the same time you guys do. You know what I'm saying? I'm just reacting. People bring up an AGF to where I had thrown a chair across the mat.
I was there.
You were there.
I was there.
It was some.
That was the same day that we were going to fight the children later on that night.
Okay.
So if we would have posted that video, people would have really thought that we were serious.
It was a hot start. So yeah, that day in particular, like I just calls were going a certain way. And it's like, I get it. Reffing's a hard job and all that stuff. But like when you have a congregation around the table with the ref and you didn't invite the other coach, and all I see is like, and I know what happened there, 100% legitimate, and it might be biased because it's my student, but it was the wrong call. You know what I'm saying? I got so much going on around me, and then I see that happening. I was like, chair's got to go. And then the beanbag, the challenging beanbag, I think it got stuck in the rafters. I think I bombed that into the rafters. It's like, don't need this. Doesn't look like I need to challenge anything. They're taking care of it by themselves without the other coach. So there goes the chair. There goes the beanbag. And it got pretty hectic there afterwards. But I'll only let so much go. And it was fun. There was one of the head refs there. I can't remember. It was a Brazilian guy who was pretty mad at me that day, which I understand, like, throwing chairs.
You did throw a chair.
There's kids around.
I get that.
Could have done some damage, but,
hey,
maybe invite me to the coach's challenge next time.
Nobody died.
Yeah, it was all good. I didn't hit nobody, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think they were good. If it was a Pirata guy, which who cares?
He took it on the chin.
Exactly.
Like I probably throw chairs in the room all the time too. That's just my guys are like, oh, there goes the chair.
They were like, thank you, professor, for hitting me with that chair.
Hits him. You start snapping his finger. Oh, thanks, perfect. Oh. That's like all the people in the Midwest that have the Salt Life sticker on the back of their car.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're in the middle of the country, dude. And you have a Salt Life sticker. A Salt Life. Not like I visited the salt water one time sticker. Salt Life. Like, bro, you're not living the salt life.
How aren't you cool with people, living the salt life?
I'm cool with it if you're around the salt life.
Okay,
but
so
far we couldn't be farther from the salt life.
Yeah, you need to go to the grocery store to get salt, to have salt water.
Yeah, they stopped at one of
those
those Ron whatever shops down in Florida, on their family vacation. They're like, oh, this will look cool in the back next to their minivan family, all the stick figures, and they got Salt Life, and it's like 400-pound person driving the car.
And then 26.2 on the end of it, or whatever number it is.
Yeah, what is that? The runners thing?
How far they've ran, like the length that they ran.
Run farther.
You should put one on like a bumper sticker on the back of your car. It'd just be like obnoxiously high, so you can flex on everybody. Just be like, yeah, this is how far I run.
Yes. Yeah, it's just a crazy number. The numbers just keep going and keep going and keep going. It's never stopped running. I'm actually running right now in my car. You see my feet? That's all I do is run. Yeah, all that stuff is. The Salt Life is the normal life version of Professor.
It is.
Os and the Shaka and the bowing to a picture of a dead guy and all this stuff. That's the real life version of that, the Salt Life. And that nothing makes me want to run a car off the road more than when I see a Missouri license plate and a Salt Life sticker right above it. It's like, do I pit maneuver this person? What do I do here? Like, I can't really be around them for that much longer. I'm already raging out. I'm already driving a car. Every time I drive a car, it just seems to be, I'm just raging for some reason. I could be having the best day of my life, and then I put two hands on the wheel. It's like, it's time to go. I got to be somewhere. And I'm always an hour early, so I don't have to rush everywhere. But, dude, you put me behind the wheel. It's like, I got to go. Salt Life's in the way. That's what it is, dude. I just can't stand it.
Oh, dude.
And if I didn't think about these things, life would probably be a lot happier for me. But these things they're just right there, always. And it just takes me down a dark path.
Let me guess. You're not just training hard. You are trying to train smart too, right? That's why you listen to podcasts like the I Suck at Jiu Jitsu show. Well, what if I told you you could get access to a premium course from Rob Bernacki completely free? It's called Jiu Jitsu for Imbeciles. And yeah, it sounds a little mean, but It's actually brilliant. Rob breaks down complex mental models to help anyone from white belt to black belt make better decisions on the mat. Just go to bjjmentalmodels.com/isuck and grab it for free. Seriously, no catch, just free high quality instruction that will make you smarter than your training partners. Listen, I know, I get it. That's what I've known you for a while now, man. It's kind of my favorite things to talk to you about is just, what's making you mad lately. Like I said, there's always something, situation that happened. A lot of times, I'm asking you this after a tournament. You're like, well, I threw a chair today, so that made me pretty mad.
Yeah. Chair today, body tomorrow. Who knows, man?
Yeah.
Anything that's in the way is gonna. And I've done better over the years of keeping it down, but at a certain point, it's like I can't hold back. I'm gonna have a flare up here.
Yeah,
I'm gonna start. The helicopter from Vietnam. I'm gonna start going crazy here.
Yeah.
Things are gonna start flying.
Yeah, you're gonna have flashbacks. I get it. Have you ever gotten kicked out of a tournament?
I don't think so, which is pretty wild.
That's pretty impressive.
It's pretty wild. Oh, going back to that ref from one of the head refs from AGF, he saw me at an IBJJF, and he went out of his way. It was at Masters Worlds. Like, we're not even close to each other. Went out of his way, and I was like, here we go. He's going to chew me out for whatever. I don't know, maybe I did something.
Don't throw any chairs here today.
Yeah, but that's what he says. He's like, they'll kick you out if you throw a chair here. He walked all the way across. He was like by Jiu Jitsu Con, and I'm down on the other side.
That's
and we just like make eye contact. I'm like, what's up, dude? And I look back, and he's walking. I'm like, looking around. Nobody else around me. He's like, you coming to talk to me? Like, I haven't done anything yet.
Yeah, I swear I didn't do it.
Give it time. I'll probably do something, but I haven't done anything yet. And he's like, they'll kick you out if you throw a chair in here. I'm like, thanks for the info.
Yeah.
Lucky all these chairs are tied together, but yeah, I'll try not to throw anything.
I'll throw them all, dude.
Yeah, and the people in them.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. It's the environment's a little different. Master World's coaching there. I mean, don't get me wrong. You're still standing on the barricade, going crazy, but not being shoulder to shoulder with everybody else and having a little designated black belt
that's
area.
nice. That's really nice.
I think that is like. That's one of my favorite parts. You have a good crew for Master Worlds?
Oh, yeah. I think, I got kids doing Jiu Jitsu Con. I got adults doing Jiu Jitsu Con. Then I should have a crew, a pretty good crew doing the Master Worlds. Probably 10 or 12 people.
Oh, wow.
Going.
That's awesome.
Got a couple kids going to Kids Pans. First time have you ever took any kids to that? Kids Pans?
Kids Pans, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So
in Orlando?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to do that first, come back, go up to Chicago, I think 2 weekends after that for, try to go help and that was kind of on my mind to compete too, but with everything that's going on, that's the thing. It's like, I'll put it in my mind, like, for instance, and I'm sure you're the same way, coaching and doing what you do. We all kind of do the same stuff, but I had this crazy schedule where I wasn't home 2 weekends in a row since February. Yeah. And June, I realized there's nothing on the schedule, right? Mm-hmm. But by the time June got here, I was then booked every single weekend. Full. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure that happens usually where it's like, oh, this is clear. And I'll tell people, it's like, are you clear this day? I'm like, for now, I'm clear. But,
schedule it today.
I try to be there for as many competitions as I can. Sometimes I run myself a little thin, but I just want to be there. I want to be there as much as I can. I'm also one of the head coaches of our kids class. And I got kids that are chasing it now. So it's like, I'm somewhere with the adults, come back in for a weekend. Now I'm somewhere with the kids, come back somewhere with the adults. And it's good, busy. Like, I don't want to sound like I'm complaining about it, but, for anything personal to me, like wanting to get ready for competition, it's like, that's got to come first. I really wanted to compete in that Chicago Open and be a part of trying to help out with that, but we'll see. I might just end up throwing a chair and fighting somebody and doing my part there. That might be the one I get kicked out of. Especially if we don't get that 10th title, then somebody's got to pay for that, dude.
Listen, we're going to get the 10th title.
Oh, I think so.
We got to.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no other option, or else everyone's got to deal with you.
And I'll be there.
Listen, I don't know if you've ever been around Junior when we lose a team title, especially closely. He's not very fun. He's not a very fun, happy-go-lucky guy. And not only that, but he's not I'm the captain of this ship, and so I should go down with it type of guy. He's blaming individuals. He's calling out individuals, and he's like, you gave up in that match. Look at Josh. Look in his eyes. Look how disappointed he is. He went out there, he fought everybody, and you fought nobody. And that kind of stuff.
It's like all the stuff that didn't really matter that moment because you're kind of winning the team title, and then you end up losing it, and you're like, you could have done this. You should start lining everybody up.
Yeah.
You start telling them.
Everybody, if you didn't do your open class, raise your hand. And then you see those hands go up like, okay, this is the group. This is the group of people that we got to attack.
You're now off the team. See you later. I know you paid your money to be here and help us out, but you got to go. You're out.
What is the feel like? And this is also something, that I think about a lot too. You and I, similar stories coming up of like, we never were parts of big teams.
Yeah.
We were never involved in winning any team trophies for anything.
Ever.
And then getting to do it in like legit big IBJJF tournaments, getting to do Chicago where, will be ideally one of, if not the first American team to
I think
to
the
win
first, yeah.
double-digit IBJJF Open titles at a specific city.
Awesome,
And that would be a really cool thing. But what's the feel like for you now in more of a coaching leadership role, getting to be a part of that?
I remember the first one that we got on tag team because, we never had a team big enough to even place at these tournaments. So that was never in my mind ever up until a couple of years ago that was even going to be a possibility. It's like, we'll go do the individual thing. Hopefully we get great individual results, but we're not staying for the team trophy thing. It's not going to work out. The first tournament, the first KC Open that we did was on tag team. It was like I think it was 2020, right before all the shutdowns during
Was it
COVID.
2019? Was it the end of 2019?
No, it was actually it was on leap year. That's my birthday. I remember that.
Oh, okay.
It was specifically, and we.
Oh, so that would have been one of the last tournaments before
That was,
COVID.
yeah. So that, and we ended up taking third. We didn't have a huge squad there, but we had some people come in from Iowa and things like that, and they called us up for the trophy, and I'm like, who goes grabs this thing? Like, I'm not supposed to grab that, and like, I think
it's Kansas City, bro.
Yeah, I think the guys from Iowa, Matt Layton, I think he was there, and Jim. And they're like, no, this is your guys' thing. You guys can have it. I'm like, this is insane. And it was a third place trophy. I'm like, oh my, I've never felt this way. This is incredible. But now it's like, winning the Chicago's, winning the St. Louis's. Now when the KC one comes around, I'm so stressed. I'm like, that's just what it is. We're gonna win the team title. That's just. There's no accepting anything less. It goes from like, I'll never touch one of those things to it's like, we're getting this thing.
Yeah,
100%. This is the focus.
And if we don't, we're all failures.
Yes, that's what it would feel like. Yeah, yeah. Especially like how many times they've won it in Chicago and you guys winning it by big margins out here in St. Louis. And the first year that we won the KC Open, we won it by a point. One of my guys that trains me at the time was a purple belt, and it was an absolute finals match, and he had to win it for us to win. And he got an advantage for a belly down ankle lock with 10 seconds left. We lost our minds. I'm like, oh my God, we did it.
That's so much fun. That's the most fun about winning team titles is as it gets down to the end and you start to see, I mean, it's way better when you're like, guys, we're up 1,000 points.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to happen.
A little less stressful.
No one worry. We're just having fun today. This is just a fun tournament. Devin's happy. He's not yelling at anybody.
Yep.
It's like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
But when it's close, we're down 10 points. We got 2 guys left.
Yeah.
It's like, boys, you're winning first.
It's on you, dog.
There is no other. I don't know how the tournament math actually works, but I know first place is the best you can do right now.
Yeah.
And so that's what we need you to
You
do.
either win, we come talk. You lose, you're walking that way.
Yeah.
Just don't come near me. This is a big deal. And yeah, that was a pretty cool moment. And then we won it last year by like 100 points. But I felt like the way we performed the year before was so much better than the way we performed this last year. We just made it work. And it's with the IBJJF too, and the KC Open's really not that big. We had to adjust. I really had to figure out how these points things work. Like if you have 2 of the same team in the bracket, you don't get points.
You don't get points.
So I had people dropping down from like Master 2 to do adult. Like it was just trying to fill in the gaps because it's really not. I'm kind of surprised they keep coming back to KC. It just doesn't seem like it's,
I think we would be surprised with how many of the opens are small. We do Chicago, which is always big.
It's big.
You do Austin,
Yeah.
always big.
Dallas.
Atlanta, always big. There's a lot of these that just have such a big jiu-jitsu community around them that they're going to be full every single time.
Yeah.
But then, we did Cincinnati Open one year. This was like 5 years ago. But it was 3 mats. And it was a one-day tournament with 3 mats. And it was like, dude, this is crazy. Like all of the black belts division ran on one mat itself and they just ran it straight through.
Yeah.
Like, this is so bizarre. What are we doing? But yeah, I think we would be surprised with how many of the smaller ones are really that
I
small.
guess, saying that, I really haven't gotten out to. You saying that we did the first Twin Cities one. There was only 4 mats there,
Yep, and I've heard of that. I've heard that too.
and that one really surprised me. I was like, oh, it's a new one. Maybe it'll pick up. Maybe this is just a one-off ordeal, because it is like the only ones I've ever really done are Dallas and Chicago.
Yeah.
And then the Twin Cities one. But I always went to the ones that they were the closest ones at the time, 8-hour drive, and they were always packed. So yeah, you're probably right there. We're probably just going to the more popular ones. More times we've been to IBJJ offense. I know for me, it's been the more popular one. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, when that time comes around, it's time to get after it.
It is, man. And it's always, I don't know, something fun about it when you've never experienced it before. And like,
Oh yeah,
this is a really, and it's, it's sad that you just can't enjoy it. And it's like, this is this thing where you're like, okay, now we got to work to keep winning these.
it's almost more stressful. It's like, it's cool when it happens and you're like, oh, we did one. And then that one kind of fades away and you're like, oh, we got to do it again.
Yeah.
So then it becomes, pretty stressful.
I kind of think it's like the feeling of building to something too. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? There's so much positive on our team.
Yeah.
So not that our team is new, it has been around longer, but our team, the wave of our team of TAC team now feels very new,
Yeah.
and it feels very recent. And especially in the area that we're in. And it's just so many of us are guys like you and me who have known each other forever. And then we're finally like, join forces, you know?
Yeah.
It's time. And so that's the, the guys in pro wrestling that you've always seen. You always like, man, those guys should team up sometime. And then they do. And you're like, this is exactly what I thought, right? This is what I hoped for. And that's kind of what we've been now. You know?
Yeah. I kind of had that moment at an Atlanta Open. It was was it the COVID year? Yeah, it was the COVID year. Because they ran Atlanta Open and Nogi Pans back to back. 2 days in a row. And we were still under the team we were on before. And I saw Nick there. And he did fairly well with COVID, I think.
Yeah, that seems like a Nick move.
Yeah.
Nick was
killed it with COVID.
Yeah, one of the super spreaders. If you competed against him during prime COVID time, he gave you COVID.
Yeah.
Every strain of it.
Hey, man. Red, white, and blue in that blood.
But I'll tell you this: you didn't beat
Go
him.
get after. Who cares?
You didn't beat him when he gave you COVID.
No.
When he had COVID and he beat you.
You lost twice. You lost to him, and you're gonna lose your battle with COVID right afterwards. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Maybe not lose your battle with COVID, but you're gonna have a couple rough days.
Yeah.
Social distancing's back. You're gonna wear your mask. But yeah, I remember seeing Nick doing well, and there was like a small team around him there. I think Matt Green was there, doing Matt Green things. Blue belt, just
Probably doing really well.
smoking everybody. And I didn't even realize, I was like watching one of his matches. I didn't even realize he was one of Nick's students. That time I was like, this guy's getting after it, dog.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch this.
Yeah.
Blue belt's kind of crazy. I saw him and Nick together and just how much fun they were having, winning together. I'm over here just lost in the quarterfinals, can barely breathe because I just got over COVID. That was the crazy thing about that one.
Because you trained with Nick a couple weeks before, probably.
I just walked past him and said, hey, how's it going? There it was.
Yep.
No, I had COVID like a month before, and it wasn't too bad, but there were certain points of the training where I was like, dude, it's hard to catch my breath.
Oh yeah.
The Atlanta Open, the gi day before the no gi day, it was like my second tournament ever at black belt, and I lose by an advantage in the quarterfinals. And I had to I found a dark room. I just opened up like a random janitorial closet, and I felt like I was dying. Could not catch my breath. And I was like, there's no way I can compete tomorrow. Like, if this is how I feel. Gathered myself, got it all back together, went out, smoked the first guy in the first round of the no-gi, and wasn't even breathing hard at all. It was just insane how hard,
the difference,
how different it was just in one day, where it's like, I thought my lung was collapsing. I thought this was like talking to God in a dark room. It's like, this is it, God.
Just take me now.
Let's go. Let's get it over with. Next time, I'm fine. Cool as a cucumber. No problems at all. But yeah, speaking of that tournament and seeing Nick and then being around you guys, and it was always good energy with you guys. And I'm sure I've said that before I joined the team, but I was like, we're over here doing our thing on a team that doesn't really feel like a team, because we really don't feel like we have a leader. It's not, you're kind of just walking around aimlessly, just trying to find the results when we can. There's really no, set path for us to, it just felt like we were on our own already. Yeah. So it's like, we've known each other. I've known you guys for a long time. Been around you guys. I've known Nick for a long time. I've trained with Nick a lot when he'd go down to Joplin. And I remember bringing it up to him first. It just seemed like the right thing to do. Yeah. And it was 100% the right thing to do. But why I didn't do it sooner. It's like, I don't know, man. That's just like, yeah, we've competed against each other. You guys have a strong team. I want to be a part of that. So it's just logical next step. Let's go join that team. I'm also a very loyal person to a fault. So it was kind of hard for me to do that. But at the same time, it's like what it has done for us to be on this team and what it's done for my students. It's like no amount of anything I felt in that moment would ever change that decision. That was the best decision, one of the best jiu-jitsu decisions I've ever made. And I'm an idiot. I made a lot of bad ones, some real terrible decisions I've made, but that was a good one. So yeah, that one's working out.
Yeah, man. And that was like, I think we were all excited when you wanted to be on the because it was early enough on the team for us that we were still like, hey, what is this team again? What are we doing?
Yeah.
And it was just, me, Kyle, Nick Jr., and then our schools. And then obviously we had the Vives connection too.
Yeah.
And, but we're just like seeing Vives at tournaments like, hey, yeah, Mark's on our team now.
Yeah.
And, the guy I came up competing almost exclusively at Chicago Open against Mark's guys in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
Every final that I would have would be against a Mark Vives guy.
Yeah.
And so I fought his guy Osher 5 times.
Oh, yeah.
And so,
he's good.
Yeah, he's super tough. Good. And so, there is just like, I had so many matches with these guys, but then all of a sudden it was like, I guess we're teamed up now, huh?
Yeah.
I guess we're friends
It's
now.
like that awkward stepbrothers hug where you're like, do I punch or do I?
Exactly.
Are we cool? Like, is this the thing now?
It went from that to like, hey, Mark, I compete on mat 3 at 10.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be there. I compete on mat 4 at 1. Yes, sir. I'll be there.
Yeah.
And it was just like, you started to use those assets that you have. And that's like, because a lot of people I talk to too, a lot of my friends that I interact with a lot when it comes to jiu-jitsu school ownership, I know so many people that just aren't part of an affiliation at all anymore.
Yeah.
And they were like, I got burned by being on an affiliation.
Yeah.
And, I get that. I think a lot of people have. They've gotten a lot of people like, and then they usually have this opinion of like, yeah, there's no benefit to being on an affiliation. I was like, yeah, I think agreed for most.
Yeah.
But for me, with the people that we have on our team and the network that we get because of that is just such a benefit in itself,
Yeah. And that first meeting I had with Jared and, because I'm first time switching affiliation, I'm like, okay, what's the dues? I'm sitting there thinking it's like a Gracie Baja. What do I got to wear? How much do I got to pay? And like, and it's like, I don't want to talk crap about that. People, want to make their money. But when it comes more about that than about the team growing and really becoming a strong team, it's more about like, you're wearing this, you got to pay this a month. I'll come in and do a seminar. Won't even know your name. I'm some high level black belt Brazilian guy. Won't even know your name. Come in there, get a couple pictures with him. Say you're around the guy, and like that's your association. Like, he doesn't know you from anybody else. It's like, every coach on this team, it's like not only cool with, is very cool with. Like everybody's just, I don't know. I'll probably beat a dead horse when I say like, just the energy on this team is. And I have also, as we said, not coming from a big team, but just expecting something a little different and having to kind of work your way in and like, trying to prove yourself and all that stuff. Is like, no, you just kind of welcome me in, and there was expectations for me to be on the team and what it mean to represent the team, but that was it. And I was like, oh, I'm down with that. Yeah, I'm already doing that stuff. Like, that's cool. And just the way I got accepted into this thing, and it's been nothing but a blessing for sure. Everybody on this team, I can't say a bad word about them.
Yeah, and you can say a bad word about a lot of people.
A lot of people, and I just might. It depends on what we're doing tonight and how much I'm drinking.
I get it. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, not on this team. We're all good.
Yep, and that's just been a fun part of it. Is just that building that camaraderie, and when you never got to experience it, because as much as I hate almost everything that you said that you hate,
Good man.
I think you're probably right, and usually I secretly hate all the people that you say that you hate, and so usually
let me be the voice.
Yeah, usually I just keep that to myself.
Yes,
right, but. Yeah, I don't know. On this one, man, I don't even know what I was gonna say, but I started going through all the people that you hate in your head, and I was like,
"That'll divert," and it's like,
"Holy smokes!" I was like, "Man, I really don't hate that many people, to be honest. I hate about 50%. Actually, if I'm being totally honest with you, I like about 50% of the people that you hate.
And that's cool.
You know,
That's cool. That's my battle.
I get along well with them.
Yeah.
I'm like, these are really swell people
Yeah.
that Devin hates, you know?
Yeah. And I have, like, it's not for any, like, there's just certain, like, maybe I'm just that guy. It's like, once you kind of do me dirty, I'm not going to forget, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe we can be around each other and all that stuff, but that's always going to be there. Like, if you're a slimy person, you do it once, you'll do it again. It's not for me. You know, and then if you do it again, then it's really not for me, and I probably shouldn't be around you that much anymore. And there's certain guys that I brought up. You heard some names, and just guys it's hard for me to be around. You know, there's some guys that's like, oh, okay, I can be in the same room as this guy, but some people are just dirty, man. Some people abuse in a weird way, like their stature in jiu-jitsu, and they, you know what I'm saying? And I can't stand that. I think that's why it's like I try to make everything so normal in my academy, where it's like I'm not different than anybody else in this room. Do not put anybody in this room up on a pedestal. We're not any different. We're all here for, you know, the same reason. We're trying to get the same out of this martial art and enjoy our time here and get better at it. And that's what it should be about. It shouldn't be about how many people's hands I got to shake before I step on the mat or bounce in the mat, or if I'm going to have to do 50 leap overs because I wore socks on the mat. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff that's happened to me, or, you know, the room was 25 degrees and God forbid I wore socks on the mat, which, you know, I was a white belt. It's a dork thing to do. But, you know, getting punished for those things, I'm like, dude, everything that I saw and kind of happened to me, I was like, I would never do that to another person. You know, I want them to enjoy this experience. We're going to get after it. We're going to train hard, but I want you to want to do that. I want you to want to be here.
And but what I was going to say is, for you and I, like, is there any, I agree. I hate a lot of the tradition that you hate, 99% of it, to be honest, probably 100% of it. But is it just because we didn't have a great experience with that coming up? Are there people that are just loving their experience with that tradition coming up? And is their only negative thoughts on that tradition is that Josh and Devin make fun of it? Mainly Devin, but sometimes Josh.
Probably. I mean, I've had people come and crush it at my gym, and they still do all those things. Like, you don't have to do that here, and that's just a part of what they do. And you can tell they enjoy that process, the real traditional side of martial arts. And I'm just not a big fan of it. But yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that enjoy that whole process, and that's probably why they stay at those schools, you know? Because I think the more social media has gotten bigger, you can kind of see that there's a lot more people along the lines of how we are and how we approach jiu-jitsu. You know, we're not, at first it was like, no, I guess this is just me, but no, there's a lot of people like that. They're just there to do a job. They're there to do the jiu-jitsu. That's the main focal point. All the extra BS is kind of out the door. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of people that enjoy that whole traditional side of jiu-jitsu. I don't really want to, I mean, I know I'm talking crap on it, but it's not for me, and it's not something that I care to harp my students on. Yeah. You know, that you can't ask an upper belt to roll, all this stuff. It's like all these old school things, and no, we're there to train jiu-jitsu. We're all there for the same reason. That's what we're going to do. No more, no less.
Random note, the only one that I do like out of all the things that you named, I think, is, and this is not, again, I don't like anything mandatory, but this is something that I do. When I walk on the mats, I do typically shake every black belt's hand, as long as I know them.
Yeah.
You know? But I don't just shake the black belts. A lot of times I'll shake other people's hands too.
Yeah.
But I do always make it a point, because most of the time the black belts that I'm on the mat with are guys I've trained with for 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
And so
100%.
those guys I will always, you know, go give the slap bump hug to. Great to see you.
Yeah.
I've known you for 15 years, but I still call you man and bro because I don't actually know your name.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
great to see you, dog.
No,
You're looking great.
I get that, and I do the same thing. But when it's like you know, you're not one of us that have been training together forever, and we're all black belts out there, and we're all, you know, especially when I come over, I don't get to see you guys that often. Of course, I'm gonna go up there and show you guys some love. But when it's like a mandatory thing for that white belt to go do it,
Yes.
and work his way down, I'm like, no, that's. You know,
I agree.
if you want to come up here, like somebody walks on the mat, whatever belt wants to shake my hand, I'm all for it. Doesn't, I don't even think, I don't bat an eye on it. That should just not be a requirement. But I get that side of it, dude. I do that same thing. But most of the time when I'm walking on mats like that, it's my boys.
Yep.
I want to go say what's up. I want to, you know, keep it friendly, and just a natural thing to do. It's just not something that I'm going to force
Makes sense.
everybody else to do.
Yeah, that makes sense. I always, you know, I'm very anti falling in love with the wall, you know, the turnaround tie your belt in front of the wall.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm anti most of the things you said.
Yeah.
Just, you know, that one. The one thing we can all agree on traditionally that they had correct is no shoes on the mat.
100%.
Right? No doubt. But besides that, not many traditions, you know, are there any traditions that you do feel like Like, oh, this is a tradition and this is separate from show up and get good at jiu-jitsu?
No, nothing off the top of my head, man.
Yeah.
Really, really not. Like, I just don't expect anything extra. I don't care for the extra stuff. But there's nothing that's like, oh no, this is set in stone. Like, really, nothing at all. I guess like, and even this one I'm not big on, but when it like comes to like, because I have a smaller mat space and you're getting after it next to an upper belt.
Mm-hmm.
The way I say it is this is like, if that upper belt's getting ready for something or they're in the middle of a scramble or something like that, you should probably get out the way. But I also look at it the same way as like, if I'm in a stagnant position and I got 2 white belts or blue belts going next to me, like, I'm going to get out the way. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm in the gym, but I'm not going to tell these people like to get out of my way. I just don't want anything to feel special about anybody in that gym that's higher than anybody else. Although there is something to it with the hierarchy of the belts, you know, the blue, purple, brown, black, and there should be some level of respect there. But at the same time, it's like, I'm not bowing down to anybody. You know what I'm saying? I don't respect that.
And I totally agree. I think that for me, I don't think that there's there's just no tradition. We wear gis, you know, that's about the closest thing to, but that's the sport too, you know? Like we don't even do stripes at my gym, you know, I haven't done stripes in 6 or 7 years. One day I was like, hey, I don't like doing these anymore. We're not going to do these. They're not necessary.
Got there, dude. I added those in. Clean never did them. We started doing. I was like, oh, just show these white belts. You know, we see that we're getting better. And then eventually, I was like, you're gonna train. That piece of tape's gonna help you feel better about yourself, or the work you're putting in is gonna help you feel better about yourself. Just focus on the work.
It doesn't change your division. Doesn't change anything. And so that's why I just decided I'm not doing it anymore.
No, there's really no point to it at all. And probably, you know, the people that fill out their cards and get their stripes every 25 classes, that kind of put an end to that as well.
Yeah. And that's
you're going to do 1,000 classes. I'm not going to give you anything.
As much as I think that those places, you know, people always have this worry of like, oh, they're going to water down the art, right? You hear that all the time. And I think, you know, in theory they do, you know, I guess per capita they do.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the amount of people that they do bring to the art, and there's always going to be guys like us. You know, there's always going to be guys that are just like, yeah, this is about training hard. This is how you get good at jiu-jitsu. This is what jiu-jitsu is. This is how you get good at it. And I just think that, you know, again, that is my thought on balance, is not that we'll all be in the middle, but we're going to be aggressively on both sides, but we'll balance each other out.
And those places are, I don't know, I'm talking trash on these things, so things I wouldn't do, but I don't want somebody to come to my gym and the way we train, the way we approach things just makes them not want to train jiu-jitsu. Maybe that place does. And as long as they're training jiu-jitsu and they feel comfortable, that's really all that matters, right? Yeah. Is it at my gym? Maybe not. Over there, that's cool. You guys do your thing over there, whether I agree with it or not. That's another place for people to train. And that's another place for jiu-jitsu to grow in the city. And anytime a new gym opens up, I'm happy for it. Yeah. Like, it's more places to train, the better. Whether I like their approach or even the instructor himself, where I like it or not, like, I'm glad they're there and I'm glad they're open. I have like no ill will towards those people at all, unless it's the ones I don't like. But in general, you know what I'm saying? No ill will at all. And I'm happy they're there because I know, you know, our style is not for everybody, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't be able to train. And if that fits your style better and you're doing jiu-jitsu and you're enjoying the process, then so be it. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Happy for you.
I agree. But that also, the other side of that coin is, but don't ask me to change what, you know, we do, you know, just let us train, you know? And so that's why I don't love the definition of like, oh, this is what jiu-jitsu is, or this is what it is. And it's like, dude, it's what it is today, you know, and this is what I'm doing today. Yeah, like, and 100%. That's it.
Yeah, I agree.
So Devin, anything you want to say to finish?
You know, I had so many things that annoyed me. I don't know if I have anything positive to say at all.
I think that was beautiful.
All the negative stuff.
Listen,
go train.
Yeah.
Find a place that works for you. They make you fill out a card, but you enjoy it. Enjoy the process. Don't worry about the belts. Don't worry about the stripes, whether we give them out or not. As long as you're enjoying the time on the mat, that's all that really matters, wherever you're at. So that's about as positive I'm going to get.
I like it.
You made me think about too many negative things.
I'm sorry, that was on me.
I'm sweating over here.
That was on me. I
started boiling for a second.
I could see your Apple Watch being like, hey, we're about to call 911.
But your heart rate's going way too high right now.
Your blood pressure, sir. But why? Why should people train?
I think whether it's just find something that it could be jiu-jitsu, it could be anything, but just doing the regular 9 to 5 and just being in the set schedule and not really experiencing life. I feel like, for me, jiu-jitsu was my thing. It helped me get out and see different things. Like, you just got to find your little lot in life that's like outside of what you normally do. And I think jiu-jitsu is awesome for that. I mean, obviously depending on where you train and how you want to train, but it's just, I've never walked into a class, even though I dreaded being there, mad that I went. I'll just say that in 20 years, I've never done any jiu-jitsu class, especially the ones where it's like, I don't want to be here today. There's nothing about me that wants to go train. I've never left at the end of class and been like, you know what, I should have stayed home. Like, there's something about being in there, the camaraderie you build. I have so many friends now that I've opened a gym of people that I probably would have never talked to. We probably have so many different viewpoints on life and anything about life. And for something that just brings us together for a short period of time. You get to get away from life. You get to exercise, learn an actual skill, and just in a room full of good energy and good people. It's like, what's so bad about that? Like, you're kind of checking a lot of different checkpoints with that. You know what I'm saying? Being social, especially if you don't have that kind of friend group, you might, feel a little awkward. I don't know. You don't want to get out. I feel like you maybe the first gym wasn't for you, but you keep looking. You're going to find that gym to where you're going to feel like you fit in, and you're going to find your little place there. And it's going to be, I know for me, it was the best decision I ever made was to pursue this thing and what it's done for my life. And but I always tell everybody, if it's not jiu-jitsu, like, you got to find that thing that gives you some sort of purpose. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like your gym's all of our gyms have great energy. Like, I just don't feel there's too many negatives of going to give it a shot and doing something like that in a realistic martial art, to where you're gaining knowledge, gaining skill, getting a workout in, building camaraderie. It's like, it just checks a lot of boxes. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, I don't know, it's been very positive in my life. And I'm trying to give that back now to as many people as I can. Doors are open to anybody, and just keep that thing going. But I don't know if I gave any real reason why to try jiu-jitsu. I just know for me and what I said, like, those have been very high points in my life, and I don't know where I'd be without it. So
Absolutely. And I think you're right. I think those are so many valuable points of why jiu-jitsu is this life-changing thing. And it's something to get you away from the things in life that you hate,
100%.
And that's why it's always annoying to me when people try to bring the things in life that we all hate into jiu-jitsu.
No place for that. Yeah.
And that's why it's like, man, let's just keep our thing about jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
100%. Man, Devin, thank you so much for being on the show,
Thank
buddy.
you for having me, dude. I really appreciate it. It's great catching up with you.
Yep, good talking to you.
Yes, sir.
Good shit.
Did we record, Brian? Or
Yeah,
no?
we were recording.
Or we didn't record?
As we're going, I'm just thinking of more things. It's like, we were talking about the chairs at Masters Worlds, and I was like, yeah, that's a really cool spot, until half a check mat is just sitting there taking the fucking seats just to talk with each other when I'm trying to coach somebody. That's where it gets pretty annoying.
I'll stop recording now. That's your